BRICS system that rivals SWIFT. I'm going to tell you one thing that everyone missed, okay, about this big announcement about BRICS, okay? Okay. So before we get started, as always, cue my guy, Indigo Saint. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Black View Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer? Best believe I was black or invested. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifested. So we binge on our black or invested. Best believe I was black or invested. That course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. Just thank God for that black or invested. Best believe I was black or invested.
What's up, guys? What's up, Crypto Warriors? What's up, Black Roo Crew? A little bit later than I expected to be, but hey, we're out here. Let's see who's in the chat. What is up, Rob B? Coming over from the one-on-one community. Shout out to one-on-one. Shout out to Rob B. Let's go. Let's get it. Without ado, let's just get straight into it. Let me share my screen here. So we had some big BRICS announcements here. All this is going to tie in. If you're just bear with me and be patient, guys. So here's the BRICS announcement. And they've had variations of this announcement throughout the last 3 months. But here it is. BRICS officially announces financial system similar to SWIFT. Now, before I even get into this, I was on a podcast with International Passport. Definitely check out International Passport's channel. It is a Passport Bro channel, but it's speaking a lot about, as a Passport Bro, how you can kind of make your dollar stretch by going to these countries where the dollar has a great value, right? So if you're a person who does IT, who works remotely, you can live in these countries and have just as good of a time as if you were living in America, but your dollar now gives you 3 or 4 times what you normally have. So that's an aside. But I was on his channel and we were talking about this news, right? So shout out to IP, International Passport, for bringing this news to my attention. And one of the Passport Bros, Theo Weff, shout out to him. He was talking about, well, I think that the U.S. dollar is still pretty stronger, pretty way strong than the BRICS system. It's going to take like a long time for the BRICS system to reach, the same heights as America. And I was really thinking about what he said, right? And we've been on here talking about how these places are emerging markets, right? Check out my last show in which we talked about how India and China are 2 hugely emerging markets, and they have been for the last couple of years. We even showed you how BlackRock, right, has have their hooks over in there, and BlackRock's in these areas, and BlackRock, the American company BlackRock, which has over $9.5 trillion under management, is in India, is in China, investing in companies, and they think it is, and those are both emerging markets. So we've been over that these are emerging markets. We've been over how Tim Draper, an American billionaire, has his hooks into Swift blockchain. Let's bring up Swift blockchain right quick so we can just kind of recap that a little bit. You guys will have to go through past shows to completely understand what I'm talking about here. One link in the description. Tim Draper, Crypto's Quiet King, I think is a great watch for anyone to really, truly understand what we have on our hands with Swift blockchain. One of the things, of course, if you look right here, Draper Dragon, which is Tim Draper's, one of his VC firms in China, and Node Capital, which has a Rothschild on its board here. Both own Swift. which is established in 2017. It's a cross-border payment system that's going to be very important as we talk about this whole BRICS having a financial system similar to SWIFT. Remember, cross-border payments, okay? So SWIFT is going to be very important in this, right? And this is no connection to SWIFT, the payment system SWIFT. This is a separate SWIFT. The payment system SWIFT said, hey guys, we agree that you guys can use the SWIFT name. We're cool with that. Probably Draper smoothed that over and let that happen, but or helped make that happen. But yeah, they said it was okay. And remember, if we're dealing with Tim Draper and a Rothschild owning this, there are definitely more things going on here, more than meets the eye, if you know the whole Transformers thing, right? And just so a little bit, I'm not capping, I'll bring up, or so you know that I'm telling the complete and total truth here. Capping is what the youngsters say, that's slang, but just in case anyone's not up on the slang, just so you know, I'm telling the truth here. I will show you Node Capital. You can do some research on Tim Draper. On the video, I said Draper Crypto's Quiet King. But if we go to Node Capital, in their portfolio is also XLR, which you might note from the thumbnail. I have an XLR logo on there. XLR is also going to be key as far as interoperability goes. If we look here at the team, you'll see these two guys, but then if we scroll down, we see Ben Rothschild, a venture partner. Okay, so literally right there, and you can know Draper because Draper Dragon, right? So yeah. Now bringing that all the way around to SWIFT. Okay, now if you guys have been following this channel for a while, and I'm going to go over a lot of information, and you really have to kind of be up on the information to understand what I'm talking about. But I'm going to go ahead. We've talked about FedNow. FedNow is a system that is being used over here that's working in addition to SWIFT to do crypto payments. Okay, it's working in addition to SWIFT to do kind of crypto payments to SWIFT. They told us that FedNow was going to rival SWIFT, but it ends up working with SWIFT. R3 Corda is another system, a private blockchain system that we were told that was going to rival SWIFT, but it's actually working with SWIFT. Okay. We were told that Quant in its system, which is also going to be a ledger of ledgers. Shout out to Maximus Crypto, who's talked a lot about Quant lately. Okay. And throughout his whole channel's history, he's talked a lot about Quant. All of these systems were talked about as being rivals to SWIFT. They're going to take down SWIFT, but in actuality, they're going to work with SWIFT. Okay. So can we also think, okay, let's just go out here and think maybe this system that BRICS is saying is going to rival SWIFT or take down SWIFT is actually going to work with SWIFT. Okay. Let's just go ahead and think that. And here's R3 Corda. Okay. And we see R3 Corda works with DTCC, which does all the clearing in America, in the world, pretty much, basically, right? All of our stock notes, all of a lot of stuff, all the clearing goes through DTCC. Okay. So you can see here the World Bank, NASDAQ. This is R3's Corda. And I guarantee you, everything's going to get cleared through here. All of these systems are going to connect into SWIFT. Okay. And let me come out here and do this right quick. I want to go. Okay, 1 second here. What's up, DJ Got Bands? What's up, Prospector? What's up, Miklo? What's up, Kid Grabo? Let me go ahead. I want to get a diagram because you know what they say. A picture says 1,000 words here and all of that type of jazz. I do have those diagrams that I always refer to with SWIFT and things on them. I'm going to bring that up so you guys can see that and see all the kind of systems that work together here. Okay. Because it'll really just sum up what I'm saying without me having to say too many words. Okay, here we go. Let's go back here. Okay, so here's a system. Shout out to Red Pill Professional. Shout out to, okay, I think this is Red Pill Professional's actual thing that he made. So you can see here R3 Corda that we just got through looking at that site. That's going to connect to Ripple Asia. Okay. And, you know, all these other things that are connecting in here. We got CBDCs. We got Bank of International Settlements. We got HSBC and all of those banks feeding into Ripple. Here we got DTCC, like I said before, like we saw with R3 Corda. We got FedNow, which I was mentioning before. All of these systems feeding in to Ripple. All of these systems also feeding into SWIFT. All of these systems are going to interconnect. So kind of, if you will, let's just pretend. I know they give you the whole thing like, oh, this system is going to replace SWIFT and, you know, it's BRICS versus G7. But let's just kind of assume, like we've seen with these billionaires, that all of these systems are going to connect together, right? So if we're using that premise, okay, that all of these systems are connecting together. Let me go back to our thing here. So if we're saying that all of these systems are going to connect together, what I believe about BRICS, right? If we look at all these different countries, I think these countries mostly use cash, right? They mostly transact out of cash. So, you know, China, India, South Africa, Brazil, and let me just go by the acronym: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Most of these guys transact by cash, right? So maybe they take taxes, maybe they don't, but more than likely they probably don't. Maybe yes, if they're a business, but if it's just like two people doing like a skills trade, no. But if they create a system similar to SWIFT or similar to our system, right? Then they're going to get more taxes from their citizens. So this is going to give all the billionaires involved in these things, i.e., Tim Draper, it's going to bring more money to them because it's going to go through the government system. Bring more money to the governments. It's going to bring more money to the billionaires because instead of having a cash system, which is how most of these countries operate, it's going to be a more system like ours, where like I don't even know the last time I used cash, right, bro? I just really don't know. And two, another thing I think people are really missing here is this gives the billionaires an entirely different ledger, right? An entirely different ledger separate from our SWIFT system, in which they're able to have their money in a legal way, right? So crypto gives them one ledger, SWIFT gives them another ledger, and then whatever this BRICS thing is going to give them another ledger. Now, we've had some news that really kind of lent some really great news that let us know that this is kind of being successful for these BRICS guys. But before I cover that news, I wanted to bring up something here. It's just completely okay. Slipped my mind. Okay. We've covered the hermetic principles a little bit, right? And just follow me on this a little bit. These are universal principles. Okay. I know this is a little bit outside of cryptocurrency, but I just want you guys to just walk with me for just a second here. Okay. So there's 7 hermetic principles. We're not going to go over all of them, But if you followed my show, you kind of know my show. But I've went over them all before, but today we're just going to go over 2. So these are universal principles. I highly regard everyone to, or highly suggest that everyone go read the Kabbalion. You can find this on like YouTube where it'll just like audio, but let's just read these principles here really quickly. I don't know how to, okay. Let's close. Oh, it won't close. It won't close. This is annoying. And it's not closing. But just try to ignore that. I can't close it. Okay. So principle of polarity. Everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. Where we see polarity a lot in our system or in our world is like hot and cold. Those are 2 polar pairs. North and south, when you think of magnets, are political parties. And it just so happens that polarity is often signified by the color, right? All the time. Democrat, Republican, hot, cold, north, south, creds. like red and blue is almost always one side of a pole. Okay, so keep that in mind. And then we're going to go here to the principle of rhythm. In everything has its tides, rise and fall. Pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm. So we know this when we think about things like Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has a halving cycle, and it goes bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, just like we have seasons, right? Summer, winter, fall, spring, or whatever. Just like we have day and night. Everywhere we have rhythm. Everywhere we have these rhythms. These are universal principles. You can see them everywhere. So the reason I bring up those principles, and we're specifically focusing on the principle of polarity and the principle of rhythm, maybe the people in charge, these billionaires, right? Maybe they understand that the American dollar, it's at the top of its rhythm, and it's time for it to kind of swing back from the top dog to more downward, right? And this is not me being anti-American. This is just me looking at it as an investor. This is just me using every freaking tool in my arsenal to try to get a leg up in the market and presenting it. This is not financial advice. This is just me talking, about my portfolio, right? This is me using every tool in my arsenal to try to understand the market, right? So maybe the American dollar has reached its complete height in this pin, and it's time for things to move back and more towards China, right? If we are to believe that G7 and BRICS are 2 sides of a pole, hot and cold, north, south, Crips, Bloods, Democrats, Republicans, G7, BRICS, maybe it's more time for things to go more towards the BRICS side. Again, we've shown you emerging markets. BlackRock is even investing its money over there. So maybe now it's time for these emerging markets to come up more in the world. Okay. It is just that time. Okay. Does that mean that the American dollar just like falls tomorrow? It probably doesn't mean that, right? Because in the principle of rhythm and, the pendulum swing manifests in everything, and the measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. It's not just going to be like, oh God, the dollar is just destroyed. You know what I mean? It's going to be a gradual rhythmic thing. But as that kind of falls, the yuan will rise. Okay. And just some news to kind of collaborate and back up and support what I said. Recently, Tether, which is kind of like, we can almost think of it as the BRICS kind of stablecoin, even though it's kind of tethered to the US dollar, right? People in BRICS have used it a lot. I can pull up articles and show you guys where Russia is using, has been using Tether for things. But we don't really need to see that. But all we need to know really is us that it's had record inflows of profits this year. Okay. Stablecoin issuer reported 5.2 billion in profit the first half of 2024. Does this have to do with some of the sanctions that the U.S. is putting on Russia and China? Stablecoin issuer, maybe it does. Stablecoin issuer Tether reported Wednesday that a record 5.2, and we all know that number is a special number to these people. 5.2 billion of net profits in the first half of the year, as the market cap of its flagship cryptocurrency USDT surged to new all-time highs. Now, if we go over and look at SWIFT, one of the things I can tell you and note is along with using USDT or along with using USDC, it also uses Tether a ton. There's a Binance connection to Tether, OKX chain, Matic, Solana. You can see down here, Optimism, Arbitrum, all the different chains. It also has a Tether connection. Phantom, Avalanche with C chain there. ETRC20, which I'm not sure exactly what that is. Maybe, I don't know if they meant ETRC. I don't know if they meant Ethereum standard, which is ERC20, or if they actually meant that. But you can see here, Swift darn well uses, it does use Tether. So it also connects Tron, which we know Tron has a connection to the digital yuan. We've shown you guys that before, but let's just show you one more time through Tether, right? Tron, Tether, digital yuan. Because I know one of the things that Theo was talking about is like, hey, they do not let people use the yuan outside of China. Like, they don't let it really offshore like that. Well, Tron's kind of putting the railings there, so it could possibly come offshore. So Tron became the second blockchain to onboard Tether's offshore Chinese yuan after Ethereum. So it's being all of the stuff is being put there. The infrastructure. Tether launches offshore yuan pegged to stablecoin on Tron. So all the things are being put there, and guess what? Swift can use it. Swift can transport it. It can do it. So again, when we look at these things and understand that billionaire Tim Draper is behind this, on Node Capital, we got a Rothschild, on Node Capital. There have to be bigger plans here. And you can see here, two important chains, XLM. We can see Quant right there. We can see, Ethereum, Solana, like all of the things are here for Swift, right? And then you throw into the mix there that XLR and Swift can be used together. And, you got XLR working with people like MasterCard and Microsoft. Oh man, it's just a great time when you look at these things and understand that people like Draper and his VC pals are connected to both projects. You almost you just feel really good about yourself if you're invested in Swift. You feel really good about yourself if you're invested in XLR. There's some really good things going on here. And just to show you what I was talking about, trusted by leaders, Microsoft, MasterCard, Deutsche Bank, Onyx by JP Morgan. And we showed you on this channel how XLR is connected to Singapore and the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and how they're being used by JP Morgan for that, and how the Bank of New York, I'm butchering it. It's like the Fed Bank of New York. It's like I'm really, really butchering it. I might have to pull up that article so I can get it right for you guys. New York, XLR. Okay, that might pull it up. That might pull it up. Okay, it's not going to pull up the old article that connected it to New York, but at least we have this one here. Deutsche Bank selects XLR as a partner in joining Project Guardian Singapore. And, Singapore is kind of a gateway into China, if you will. When they didn't allow certain things into China, you either had to do it in Singapore or do it in Hong Kong. So here it is. We're committed to being a leader in driving the development and adoption of digital assets in Singapore and Asia Pacific. Okay. And just to add kind of more proof here, which we've gone over before, but it's always good to see it again. I'm going to market cap. We want cryptorank.com. How XLR, the people behind XLR are all companies that are connected to Tim Draper here. And if we go to XLR on Twitter, you do see that Swift is following them. Swift blockchain. I'm so spelling this wrong. There we go. Such a bargain is 60 cents. Polychain Capital. We've shown you how Polychain Capital is owned by Draper. We've shown you how Coinbase is owned by Draper. Dragonfly Capital, we made that connection to Metapath. So yeah. There was one other piece of news that we wanted to connect here. Okay, well, let's go to the chat and see who we got in the chat. 38 people. That's amazing. I was really, with me going so late, I did not expect that many. That is awesome. Again, what is up, Rob B? What's up, Marie Villas? Hello, BR. Appreciate you coming through. The unit 40% gold. Okay. DJ got bands. Let's go. What's up, Rue? Hope all is well. All is well, brother. All is well. Kid Gravo, what's up? Miklo, what's up? And DJ got bands with the super chat. Very, very, very much appreciated. Shout out to the Patreon people. Shout out to the people who are giving super chats. It really helps the channel go. What is up, G? Appreciate you. So yeah, guys, this really makes me think when I really sit back and think about the BRICS and the things that is going on here. It really makes me think, okay, well, these cash societies, these are emerging markets because they're really not banked, right? And if they get these emerging markets of people banked, I think it's going to be really awesome for these cryptocurrencies. It's going to be really awesome for these billionaires, but it will be really awesome for us because we're going to be investing in the cryptos and the technologies that are going to have them banked, right? And just to read a little bit of the article, BRICS Alliance is looking to bypass, well, they say that they're looking to bypass it, but just what if by some crazy shift of fate, it actually works with SWIFT? Because we've seen everything else has worked with SWIFT, right? To bypass the Western SWIFT system and replace it with its own financial mechanism, the creation of a new financial messaging system similar to SWIFT will allow BRICS to reshape the global trade landscape. And here we are with cross-border again, right? The majority of the cross-border transactions are now settled using SWIFT, and cutting ties with the system provides leverage to the 9-member alliance. BRICS can create a new payment system without incorporating the US dollar for transactions. Yeah, right. They're using Tether, which already incorporates the US dollar, which, if we go back to that Tether article, they say how they're holding a whole bunch of US bonds. Let's see. Or US Treasury or something like that. And here we are. Stablecoins are seeing adoption as cross-border settlement mechanism. But where was it here? Okay, Tether USDT is a key for trading and is increasingly in demand in developing countries as a vehicle. The most popular stablecoin with 100 billion market value, up from 91 billion this year. So, where were we? Back here? Oh, okay. This was the other news I wanted to show you guys. It says, just says the creation of financial system similar to SWIFT, BRICS countries. But there was some other news here in which Russia said that they might transact in Bitcoin when it comes to making transactions with El Salvador. Okay, so there's this too. Russia legalizes crypto payments for trade. And this is July 30th. Okay. That's big news. And then if we go up here, oh, and be sure to check out my guy, Underdog Researcher. He dropped a new show today. Him and I were talking about it. I haven't got a chance to check it out personally yet, but if it's what he told me it was, it's gonna be fire. So definitely go over there and check it out. Okay, I'm not able to find what I was actually looking for. Let me go to my profile because I'm pretty sure I liked it. Okay, there it is. El Salvador to use Bitcoin and crypto for trade with BRICS, ditching the dollar. So this is like rumor, I guess. El Salvador proposes using cryptocurrency to settle trade with Russia. It's very, very interesting there. Very, very interesting. I hope everybody can hear me okay here. Let me move this a little bit closer to me. Okay, El Salvador to use crypto for trade with BRICS ditching the US dollar. Following Russia's legal shift regarding the asset class, El Salvador had proposed Alexander Ilyakin or Ilyakin said the measure would simply simplify trade dealings as the greenback is the central country's official currency. The greenback. I thought it was Bitcoin. Interesting. That's very interesting. Like right after they say, "Oh, we'll use cryptocurrency for international trade," to El Salvador and say, "Okay, let's." So very interesting news there. Should be news for Bitcoin, but I think that's also good. It's good, and all the different payment systems over there that connect with it, right? So really, really glad that I remembered to do that. And thank you, Prospector Mike. Is good, but very, very huge news there from El Salvador and Russia, and for Russia announcing that they will use cryptocurrency in cross-border payments. Again, this is very, very huge for SWIFT. We've already kind of gone through connecting SWIFT with Mizuho Bank, with China, with Singapore, with India. Like we've connected SWIFT with so much. Maybe it might now also be time to try to officially connect SWIFT with Russia. But imagine which we've seen, right? That the yuan is going to be the center point for BRICS trading, right? If the yuan is the center point, and then Tron just said, right, that the Tron has a stablecoin through Tether that supports the digital yuan, and Tron is one of the chains supported on SWIFT. That okay, now SWIFT anything over there BRICS because it supports Tron, it supports the digital yuan, right? Well, it doesn't say that it supports the digital yuan, but just trust me, if it supports Tron, it probably supports the digital yuan. So now it can transact in all of these BRICS nations with the yuan, right? So very, very, very smooth stuff. If we believe that either the yuan or Bitcoin is going to be used as BRICS currency, as BRICS as their stable coin or settlement coin, if you will, then SWIFT is ready, be it Bitcoin or be it Tether or be it whatever the yuan stable coin is that they're using through Tron. SWIFT is ready. Okay. So very, very cool. And again, don't imagine this as, okay, they're trying to take down the US. Imagine this as something that connects with SWIFT and something that billionaires through G7 that already are billionaires in G7 can now send their money through R3's Corda, through Ripple, through Swift, and that Swift blockchain to wherever the heck they want in record time, in seconds, as opposed to what happens now with Swift, where it takes them days for things to clear. They can now go through Flare. They can now go through Swift. They can now go through R3 Corda. They can now go through all these different payment places, all these different apps, all these different banks easily in seconds, okay, through multiple ledgers, okay, including a new Swift ledger that's going to be, or a new BRICS ledger that's going to be connected up to everything. And this is showing Stellar, which is Stellar is probably going to be G7. And shout out to XX_1133_12221_11. Okay. Shout out to him on X or Twitter for this mind map here. Again, this is like a kind of clear mind map of what the G7 process will look like. We've definitely showed you how Swift blockchain connects up to Stellar and how Draper has, done his dealings there. We got the BIS, we got the WEF, the forum, if you will, Flare, Velo, and we told you how Velo, it connects to Thailand, Fireblocks, all these different things, IBM, right? And IBM, you can talk about BSV here. You can talk about, Stellar, Hedera, Stronghold, Casper. I forget which one this is. I think this is Hyperledger, all coming through, talking through Stellar, all the different stable coins, the circles of the world. Now you could just hitch and put Tether onto this as well through Swift blockchain or another payment app, right? Visa, all these different things. You can put XLR here too. All these big people like BlackRock, Deloitte, Franklin Templeton, Grayscale, all of this, guys. It's a very, very, very awesome thing when you think about it, and you think about all these things connecting together. Here's even another one that shows it kind of even more clearly. I forgot I freaking downloaded this thing. So here, literally are all the stable coins, Tether, and remember, I think World Bank or somebody classifies XRP and Stellar as stable coins. So imagine how much these guys will have to be worth if they're stable coins, right? Again, pictures telling 1,000 words. Tether and USDT or USDT and the Euro US thing, or the Euro thing that Circle has, all of that feeding into Quant, which is the overledger or the ledger of ledgers, and all of that junk being able to go to public blockchains, CBDCs, enterprise stuff. Got to go into LCX, all throughout here to R3 Corda, all throughout here to XDC. Got that stuff bridging here. Got real world assets, actual energy assets through Energy Web token, all the way over here to Algorand. And notice all of these have ISO standards. All of these are World Economic Forum, right? All of these are WEF. You notice that, right? You got JP Morgan and Onyx. We just showed you that, right? And how it's connected to XLR. They have it going in here to Algorand, but also it is connected to XLR. We showed you the press clippings for that with Deloitte. This
this thing like kind of ties it up in a nutshell, really. We got Sologenic and Corium, which is all built on XRP, feeding in to the Interledger and then SBI. And then we've got IBM feeding into Hedera and Accenture here with the Hyperledger fabric. And, Stellar up here. Oh, it's just a glorious time. Just to know, Casper's at a discount now because that whole like exploit or whatever they want to call it, they had a breach where only 13 people supposedly got affected, but now Casper's price is down. So if you're looking at such a bargain out here, some bargains, Casper might be one that you want to look at. Of course, if you want to take a step up from there, I have the Patreon, which I give people weekly watch lists. And there's some big juicy ones on that watch list that have gone up, but we won't talk about those. But yeah, if we come over here and look at Casper, down to 17 cents, or I'm sorry, 1.7 cents. Okay. The lowest it's ever been in about 2 years, right? So such a juicy time. It's definitely at oversold on a week. So when it gets bought back up, it's going to be a very nice time. But yes, Casper, gotta love it here. I think it's still frozen on upholds where you can't do any transactions. But if somebody has access to MXC, I know we have people here that listen that are not just in the US. So if you have access to MXC or some other platform where you could buy Casper, just not holding, still halting trading, seems like a really good buy right here. And I'm not sure that it goes lower than that. It could, but heck, when you got to buy like this, all-time low, man, it's just a juicy time. Like, I'll tell you what. Like, I'll look at Algorand here. Remember good old Algorand when it hit its all-time low? Or not all-time low, but it was a big low that we hadn't seen in a while. Something like 8 cents. It was like right here. And they're not showing the right price. It had dipped down to 8 cents at one point. Can't remember when it was. It might have been actually over here. Yeah, it was right here. It was right around here. Yep. So September 12th, 2023, because I was like, oh my God, Algorand at 8 cents. So it went from 8 cents all the way to, and this was on the Patreon list, by the way. It went from 8 cents all the way to 33 cents. So that's like a 5x right there. And let's not even talk about Caspa, which we are in at like 3 cents. Caspa is now, I think this, is an all-time high for it at 20 cents now. It broke through this green marker finally. And we were in here at 3 cents, y'all. 3 cents. Look at that. We were in here at 3 cents. So what is that? 6 or 7x? Man, gotta love it. Got to love it. Let's see where we are as far as time goes. The Patreon, links to the Patreon should be in the description. I'm looking to revamp the Patreon. Like, it's definitely way too low of a price right now for what it offers, but I'm looking to revamp it. So it's going to be that price for now, but I'm definitely looking to revamp it and put
more exclusive content on the Patreon, like stock videos. I think I'm going to move all my stock videos exclusively to Patreon, because when I do them on YouTube, you guys really don't watch them that much anyway. The stock videos, you're only interested in the crypto ones. So I think if I move that to Patreon as an exclusive thing for my Patreon guys, they would like it. I see that you use RSI with the trend line. How do you use a trend line in your technical analysis? Well, I used a couple different things. I guess we got a good 5 minutes. We can go over it. I have some videos on how I use it, but you know, basically the biggest things to look for. And it's funny. I was talking to my sister about this today. I'm trying to like train her up a little bit. The biggest things to use for me are the RSIs, both the stochastic and the RSI regular and the RSI stochastic, but also the 8 EMA, the 50 EMA, and the 200 EMA. So let's take something like, let's look at flare, for example, because it's going to be a really clearly defined chart. So you see here that, let's zoom in here. Let's hide the ones below here for a second. You see when the 8 EMA crossed the 50. I'm literally going to call that the black root cross, because they call it golden crosses when the 50 crosses the 200. But you can see when the 50 crosses the 200, you're almost late, because if you went off the 8 crossing the 50, you're like way earlier here. You're way earlier to this move than the 50 crossing the 200. So let's just call that the black root cross. When the 8 crosses the 50, you're pretty much knowing, okay, this is about to go bullish. And that's what it did. And it did that until the 8 now then crossed back over the 50. And then it started to go bearish. And it's been bearish ever since the 8 crossed the 50. And you can see that here clearly, right? Now, if you want to bring RSI into it, it just makes things even more clear. That was when it reached complete oversold. Now, since it was oversold, which is beyond this line here, this horizontal line here, beyond this horizontal line, there are a whole bunch of buys until it got to overbought. And, they kept getting overbought. But, you really wanted to look in conjunction with this to see when the 8 crossed the 50 again. But you can see different times here where we're dealing with, like, if we went into a lower time frame, I usually use the day time frame because I'm not trying to day trade. I'm really more doing swing trading. But if we lowered down to the 8, you will see even more defined kind of time frames here, in which can make even a little bit earlier moves. But this is on the 8. But I prefer to just kind of stick with the day chart. It's just the easiest for someone who's swing trading. But that's what I use. I use the 8 crossing the 50, and along with conjunction with the RSI, and then the stochastic RSI kind of shows you just more of like a more daily type of thing, because you can see, okay, on the stochastic it was oversold here, overbought here, oversold here, and you can see like those are little bitty like buy sell points if you wanted to get so granular and like almost like a day trading type of thing. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just how I deal with my portfolio. But if we look at LCX, you'll see some of the same similar things
When the 8 crosses the 50, bullish time until the 8 crosses the 50 in the other way. And the RSI kind of just backs that up, right? And these are things that you can find on Trading View's indicators. You don't have to like kind of redo the wheel. If you just find RSI and stochastic RSI on Trading View and the 8 EMAs on Trading View, you can have the same chart. But I should probably put this all in the class for people to have and see. But there you go. Not to go deep, no Diddy. But yeah, that's the quick and dirty right there. That's the quick and dirty. Only for you guys who are diehards. But I really need to kind of like put that in the class and stuff like that and offer it to people. What's up, Jay Diecast Creations? What's up, Bitcoin Shango? Been a while, brother. What is up? What is up? What is up? That's interesting. I might add this to my research. I'm really trying to work out my assets. That's all I think about. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And again, back to the whole hermetic principle thing. Principle rhythm going up, down, up, down, up, down. It may still trend in one way. Like if we look at Bitcoin is on this constant. If we get rid of this and we look at the week chart, it will be like really clear. Bitcoin is on this constant trend up, but in that trend, you have ups and downs. And in this, you'll see some very clearly defined patterns. The W pattern. So you got the M here and you got the W here. And this is how I was able to tell people before almost anybody I know, hey, Bitcoin is going to break its all-time high before the halving. I said that, we got the receipts for it because I saw this W pattern, and you can even see I have an arrow that's been on here pointing like, hey, look, here's the W pattern. But you guys know. I said it. Y'all know. Can you please explain what Caspa is? We don't have to go deep. Caspa is a coin that does like I hear they do like yearly halvings. We've also traced Tim Draper to Caspa. Yeah, we might have to do that actually on another day, my brother, DJ Got Bands, because I really want to end this one in under an hour. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. It's so cool to have so many people, even when I'm like 2 hours late. Thank you guys so much for coming. DJ Got Bands, I promise. Just ask me to go into Caspa again, and I will go into it for you. But yeah, I think I have an older video that goes into Caspa more in depth if you want to check through the catalog. But thank you guys so much. I'm about to get out of here. I've been in school, IT. My kids have been needing some my attention. Oh, no problem, bro. No, I appreciate every time you come through. What's up, Leonard? Thoughts on Litecoin? People are still holding on to Litecoin. If you catch my show from a couple days ago where I went over the ETFs and ETPs, Litecoin is in those foreign ETPs. But yeah, let's get out of here, guys.